What's up, everybody? Welcome to All Things Nate and Joe. I'm Nate. That's Joe. Today we are going to be talking about Joe's trip to New York. What did we do? What does he wish we did? What did he like? What was his favorite part? What did he dislike? All those fun things. So it's gonna be a good time. After this will kind of end our series of New York. After this, we'll try to get back to having guests and changing all that. We'll also try to figure out our monthly anime podcast, which we have to do. So we'll try to get together with the panel people, Eli and Keaton, and all them. But without further ado, Joe.
Okay, well, you almost stole my line there. I thought you were about to say it. And I was like, no, you can't take it from me. But it can't be just about me as well, because, I mean, I did visit you and you were my host, gracious and awesome host, by the way. So we'll be asking you some questions back and asking about your experience, because, I mean, it was just as much as an experience for you as it was for me, too.
My experience was hurting 5 kids.
Right. But without further ado, let's talk nerdy about New York City.
Let's talk nerdy about New York City. The first thoughts, Joe. So I try to tell people, like, you don't understand New York until you see New York and you see the shows, the movies, and all those, and you're like, oh my God. But when you walk out of the subway and you're just like, what? Yeah. Walk us through it, Joe. What'd you think? First impressions?
Of course, everything's like giant. You're just looking around these monstrous buildings, tons of people everywhere. But like the first thing I immediately noticed, of course, was the traffic, right? Like, because what is where you're at technically? What, like 30 miles from New York City?
Like, I don't know the mileage. I don't know the mileage, but I'm about an hour from Long Island City, an hour and 15. And then Long Island City allows you to take the subway over. So, but I mean, there is traffic everywhere, every time of the day. It does not matter. Me and Steph were coming home from Philly in the middle of the night. It was like 11 o'clock, and we were stopped in traffic at 11 o'clock. Like, what? Go home, get off the road, people.
Yeah, and when we were leaving, we were going through to go see the Statue of Liberty. Like, we went down to Manhattan, the Chinatown, the area that we walked through on the first day we went in. And it's like I noticed that all the lines disappeared on the road. So there were no like markings on the road. There was just bunches of cars, and the road was awful, in awful conditions. I was like, why is this a thing? Like, why? So that would be like something that I immediately noticed, of course, was the just horrendous traffic where it's like, hey, it's 15 miles, but it's going to take you 2 hours. And just the ton of people there. So
yeah. So a couple things on that. The traffic is brutal. It's so bad. And even with the train and the subway, you think that would alleviate some of it, but it just doesn't. Like, I couldn't imagine the city without the subway and stuff. Like, the nightmare that it would be, but it is already pretty terrible as is. Like, so each day we left the city, we left at like 4 o'clock. We did not get home until like 6:15 every night, because of the drive home would take forever. And it was just stopped traffic, just barely nudging along,
we got a comment from Stephanie. Taking 2 hours to go 30 miles is a real thing. And I was so glad just to get back to the South, where it's like, oh, look, I can, go 15 miles down the road and it takes me 15 minutes, not 2 hours. And then also shout out to Steph for being like the tour guide, like amazing tour guide, just somehow knowing how to navigate the city.
She grew up here.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's with a lot of practice, but still, like, even if you grew up there, like, I can imagine just being able to be like, oh, I know exactly where I'm at in this giant city. It's pretty crazy. But
so I can tell you, we travel all the time. Steph is 100% the navigator. I do not have like that male hubris where I'm like, I know where I'm going. Trust me, fam. I'm like, Steph, where are we going? Steph can navigate everywhere. She's a machine. I don't know what it is. It does not matter. You could stick her in the middle of nowhere. She'd be like, oh, we should go that way. Okay.
Part homing pigeon.
Yeah. So having her as a travel companion is freaking awesome because I don't ever have to worry about being lost. I will say she left us, right? So let's talk about
She
this.
did.
So she left us our first day in the city. And for all the listeners, so I take the train into the city, right? But I take a specific train that takes me all the way to the city. It is not the subway. It's like a passenger train. It's nicer and all that stuff. So navigating the subway system is not my home. I was like, Joe, I won't get us lost. Don't worry about it. So we were going to go down and see the Statue of Liberty. And this dude, what are the odds? This guy's like, hey, man, I'm looking for this. Am I on the right one? And I was so confident that I got us going the right way. I was like, nah, fam, I think you got to be on the other one. Like, it's okay. It happens to the best of us. Like, you went the wrong way. And then we stop. And this guy goes, bro, I think you're wrong. And I was 100% wrong. We were going the opposite way. And so it's okay. But then we get home. So
yeah. See, and that's what I was like, was Nate really just ready to go home, or did he really get on the wrong subway? Because it was the right subway, it was just going the wrong way, right? Like we were kind of at the right spot. We just went the direction of where our car was parked versus the direction towards the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, so I wanted to go to the Statue of Liberty. Like I wasn't ready to come home or anything like that. Like now I didn't want to venture out and get crazy because I would have definitely got us lost. You know, like I was good for one subway pick. I wasn't even good for that one. I was close to being good for one subway pick. Yeah. But it just so happened that it was the right train, the wrong direction. But at that point, we were already on it. We're like, okay, this will get us home. So I think y'all had lost confidence in me that if we would have got off the train, that we would have ever made it back to the car, which means y'all were just like, no, let's go ahead and just go back to the car, which is fine. Cause like I might have gotten us lost.
Oh man. But I think it worked out in the end though, because we had originally not planned to go into the city that day anyway, but it was going to be raining Thursday, which was going to be that day. So we flopped days around. We still had stuff to do that we were going to do back at the house. Like you were whipping up some ramen for us, and it's going to take time, that kind of stuff. So we really did need to go home. So it ended up working out in the best of ways. We got a comment from Steven that says, Nate, you're not lost. You're just exploring. Exactly. If you're in New York City and you don't know where you're at, you're not lost. You're just exploring.
I would agree with you 99% of the time, Steven. 100%. Hey, welcome back, bro. I haven't heard from you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you jumping in and saying hello. But B, when you got 5 kids, you can definitely be lost. Okay. When you got Joe's wife and 5 kids in town, you're not just exploring. Hey, you're like herding cats. These kids were everywhere. Lane trying to get places. We had a little, kid, which, Bella loves Steph. So like she was attached to Steph most of the time. So it made my life easy. But like, I would agree with you 99% of the time. This is the 1% of the time where we were
possibly get lost or losing a kid or something like that. But everybody came out together, right? Lane tried to walk off a few times, but we rang them back in.
I will say that one time we were like, all right, guys, we got to get off the train in a hurry, right? Like we got to go. And I think it was Lane that was just like decided of all the times to not be energetic and like jump around. He's kind of lackadaisical. We're like, bro, get off the dang train. What are you doing?
Yeah, and it was crazy. That one, like where we were waiting for the subway, and then the conductor or whatever kept closing the door on people because they were trying to get in, and there was like one was like jumping across, but he would open it for like a second and then shut it, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, is he just playing with them?
In the subway system, you're not supposed to hold the train because if you hold the doors, you're delaying everyone. And these things are like clockwork, like go, 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 go. They run all day, right? So they don't want you to hold them open or to like keep a body part in them. So when he opens it and shuts it, it's to allow people that are stuck, right, to kind of finish getting one way or another. It's not supposed to be long enough to allow another person on. It's supposed to be long enough for you to move your hand or to pull your bag out. I mean, you saw the 2 friends. The one lady was like, I'm sorry, like leaving her friend because her
she was like,
get on this away.
just waving like, sorry, I'm behind.
Bro,
Oh,
those
man.
conductors don't play. They have a job to do, and that job is to get the train from point A to point B. It is not to get you from point A to point B. They do not care if you make it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, but other than the subway and like it being a little smelly, and it was weird because it's like each level had like a different unique smell that was just, just as bad as the other one. But once you get out on the street and stuff, like just being able to look up at the different architectures of the buildings, like was super cool. The Grand Central Station, right? Like that was amazing. Like giant. I love that you're like walking off reading facts about it, and you were super excited about reading the facts. You're like, I got one more. Wait. I know I said one more, but here's one more. Like it was just made the whole moment of like, this is really exciting, and getting to kind of share it with a group of people, that kind of stuff. And just also just seeing the architecture of that building. It's like you're like looking around, you see the chandeliers, the clock in the middle of the thing and stuff. So this is really cool.
So Steph and I love being tour guides. Like we really do really enjoy showing people our homes. We move so much. We are actually, like, for a lot of people, a platform of visiting new cities. So everywhere we move, people will be like, Nate, we're coming to see you. We're coming to see you. So y'all were here last weekend. This weekend, we're going to see the eclipse. Next weekend, we have a friend coming to town. And the weekend after that, my aunt and them are coming to town. So like we will be playing tour guides all of April, essentially. And like we enjoy doing it. We enjoy like seeing the wonder of everywhere we go and showing y'all what are the best food places, what are the best things to do, Central Park, Grand Central, and all those things. So like it's a lot of fun for us. But I will say we like knowing what people want to do though. Like tell us what you want to do and we'll figure it out. We don't want to have to decide.
Yeah. It was fun. Like every time we saw like a store with anime figures, and we were like, all right, give us a minute. We ran in and like looked at the different stuff. Like there was some really cool stuff. We didn't end up buying anything just because they would tell us the price and be like,
you should have bought that Itachi. 100% you should have bought that Itachi from that lady on the street. She wasn't even an actual vendor. She was a street vendor.
Yeah. 100%. I should have stopped for that one, but I was like, "We'll come back, or I'll see it somewhere else." But we didn't. Should have did it. Missed opportunity, 100%. But it was just cool seeing some of the like pre-built stuff, like just statues or figures that are as tall as we are in there. It looked really cool.
And I will say, I think Nicole appreciated it a lot. So I am a fast walker, right? Like I'm tall, but I walk with a purpose. Like I go. So they actually ended up putting me at the back of the line so I could stop running off and leaving everybody. But if I'd find myself at the front, stopping at all those anime figures and statues, like slowed me down, allowed everyone else to catch up. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, that was funny. She was like, all right, Nate, get back in the back. Steph's got to be the leader because she could set the better pace for everyone.
Yeah, so the first day I was walking around, I'd like just walk, and I'd turn and look, and I'd be like, what the F? Where is everybody?
It's like, oh, they're like 2 streets back because you're walking too fast.
Yeah. Which I the second day I tried not to. I tried to be a lot more like, I don't know why, but in my mind, everybody just walks like I do, like just like get to where we're going, you know?
Oh, we got a couple comments. Bree says, fill that long stride problems.
100%.
And Marshma says, run off and leave people just like in Call of Duty.
Okay. First off, so 2 things, 2 comments here. Hey, Bree, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Great to hear from you. What up, Marchman? But the long stride thing, that's real because I'm not speed walking. I just walk fast and the strides lead to it. But then my wife's going to counter that because she's as tall as I am and I leave her in the dust. But the whole run off and leave people in the COD thing, that's just not true. I'm out trying to get shot so y'all know where the people are. I'm looking out for you in that situation.
You're scouting.
If I'm leading, you get to see them murder me. And I'm not good like I used to be. So like it's me dying and y'all seeing where I'm dying from. So that's just me looking out for y'all. So you're very welcome for that, Marshman.
Oh man, they did just come out with the Rebirth Island again. So have you been playing that at all?
I played it like twice. I've never been a big Rebirth person. It's too ratty. It's too small. I prefer a little bit of distance. So
Marshman just does face palm.
I don't know why you facepalm that. I'm out here elevating y'all. Like I'm putting y'all in a position to win, to succeed. I'm out here sacrificing myself for y'all. As true servant leader. What can I say? Man of the people.
even put that Scrum certification to work in Call of Duty.
That's right. I time block my COD time too. I'm like, Steph, I'm gonna be playing video games for the next 3 hours. Don't bother me. So Scrum life.
Scrum life.
So
catch me at the retrospect.
Yeah. So Joe, what was your favorite part of all of New York? What stood out the most?
Man, again, I'm not like a big city person. So if you ask Melody, my 14-year-old, she would definitely be like, "Oh, the big city and taking the pictures." But me, like, I really liked the day where we just kind of chilled at your house. Like, it was raining outside. We watched anime, played some Summoner's War that you introduced to us. Like, played board games, and I crushed the kids at a couple of board games, made them cry. So that was great.
Walk to the beach.
Yeah, walk to the beach.
Sprinkled on a smidge.
Yeah, but so I really enjoyed that day. Also, really enjoyed like the ramen. Like I think I ate like double what everyone else ate. Let's see. We got a couple comments. Steven says, "Hear me out. In every relationship, there's one speed walker and one person that has a chill pace. I call it a floating walk."
Yeah, that would be my wife. Steph is very much a chill, like just casual, no sense of urgency whatsoever. Like it could be like zombie apocalypse. She's about to die. It's cool. I got this. I could be like walking next to an elderly person. I'm like, it's like going. I got somewhere to be. I'm gonna get there.
And then Marshman says, "Did you see the Statue of Liberty?" We went and saw it from like a distance from the park. Like it's like an old train station park, like on the way out of New York City.
So Marshman, to actually go see the Statue of Liberty, there's like a ferry that I think you can take, and I think it's pretty expensive. And then to get off at the island and go into the statue or whatever, it's like pretty expensive. So unless you're just one of those people that love the Statue of Liberty, just have to go see it, there's better ways. You can go to like Battery Park, you can go to some other places and you can see it. There's a little distance, but like you can see all of it. It's not really worth going to pay for and to do that unless you just want to check it off a box that like, hey, I touched the Statue of Liberty, which is good for you.
I also really liked Central Park too. Like I know we didn't get to explore the whole Central Park just because it was starting to rain, that kind of thing. But like the part that we did see, being able to climb up on the rocks, and it was just like someone just took like a very like calm and like piece of nature and stuck it in the middle of this giant like city is just really cool.
Yeah. So Nicole ended up with some blisters on her feet from the amount of walking that we did. And that really set us back on the second day because I can only imagine the amount of pain that she was in. I saw the blisters when y'all were leaving. I was like, ooh, thanks. Yeah. I don't know if she wasn't sporting socks day one or if it wasn't appropriate socks. I don't know. But whatever like needed to be done to alleviate those blisters, I wish we would have done because it would have been awesome to see because Central Park is not like a lot of your other, is not just like a little small park. It is massive, right? So if we could have walked a lot of it, it would have been a lot of fun. But the playground was really cool. And the fact that you had 5 kids, we couldn't have asked for something better because like all the kids, like, the 2 teenage girls like chilled on the rocks and hung out. But the other ones were like playground. Ah!
Yep. They're like, let's go, let's climb on everything.
And like it's like a cool little different playground, and it's a park. So like the kids had like extra amped energy because like you're like, oh, it's a park. They immediately go, woo!
Yeah, let's dial up the energy to 10.
So if you were new coming to New York, or if like the first time to the city, what would be the one thing you're like, you have to go see this, you have to do this?
Again, I would probably say Central Park, right? Just because it's like, you're gonna walk through other stuff to get there. You're not just gonna like teleport into Central Park, but it's so different than the rest of the city. Even from the small amount that we saw, it was just like, how is this here? Like in the middle of all this, big giant buildings and cities, just like quiet or quiet compared to the rumblings of the city. A place to kind of just go and like be in nature, take walks, that kind of stuff. So I would say that for sure.
I think for me, I think it's got to be Times Square. I think Times Square is the textbook definition of what New York is. Just big, lights, busy, in your face. You have all the performers and actors and costume people and stuff like that.
The dude in the why am I blanking on the name? But
we saw Deadpool, Spider-Man, Hulk, Transformer, King Kong, the big King Kong one. Yeah.
King Kong, that was cool.
Yeah, and like you have like dancers and stuff out there. And I think that is like, if you come to New York, that is something that you need to do, like Times Square. And we saw where they store the ball and the ball's up there. And, that's such a big thing for everybody. Like, oh, are you going to watch the ball drop this year? Which, I'm a few years past that. I'm usually in bed or something. Like, I don't care about the ball dropping anymore. But still, for like kids, right? Like, you're like, oh, that's the ball that drops every year. So this coming New Year, if you and the kids were to stay up and watch it, they would be like, oh, we know where that is.
Yeah. That was really cool. And that's the area where I tried to haggle with the guy for the knockoff AirPods. I just said, all I got is $20, man. All I got is $20, and he followed us like down a whole street until we went into a store. So that was pretty fun. Part of the experience, right? I was like, I at least had to try to like haggle with the guy just to say I did it.
Yeah, in his defense, A, very aggressive. B, you didn't haggle. You said I got $20, and he did haggle. He is like, originally it was 50, right? And you're like, I got 20. He's like, 45. You're like, I got 20. 40. I got 20. 35. I got 20. I can't go any lower. Well, all I got is 20. Well, come out here. Let's talk. All I got is 20. You didn't really haggle. You just said, hey, I just want to throw out this price to see if you're willing to come down. But this dude was aggressive. He like followed you. He almost went to the store with you. Right? I finally had to be like, bro, we're good. Please go away. God.
But I just want to see if I could get him down to $20, Nate. And then you made him go away. I bet if he was waiting there by the time we got out of the store, he would have done $20. But you scared him off.
There ain't no way he was gonna. If he was gonna do $20, he would have done it after like the 8th time you said it. Because the dude's like 35, 20, 35, 20, 35, 20, 30. All I got is 20, 35. All I got is 20. Like the dude was not budging. Like 35 was his rock bottom. I don't know who his supplier was, but he like bought them for like 12, and his markup has to be 35 to make the time and effort worth it. So
we'll never know, man. We'll never know. Hold on. Marsha says, y'all get conned into a $50 picture. We did not.
So that is a real thing, though. We did see people getting conned into $50 pictures, and they are like sleazy about it too. And it's something, if you are not used to it, which, me and Steph living in New Orleans, sometimes you can get a little bit of that. But like, if you're not used to it, then you don't know, because they're friendly enough. They'll walk up to you. Hey, you want a picture? They're in a costume. Some of the costumes are raggedy. Like some of the Mickey Mouse ones, I'm like, bro, clean it. Like you don't even look pleasant. You look like, if Mickey Mouse was dragged through the desert. Like, what is this? This is nasty. I honestly don't know how they don't scare some kids, but they'll be like, oh, let's take a picture. And they'll like jump in and like do it. And then be like, oh yeah, that's $40. First, wow. You should have led with that, bro. I got no cash dollars on me. Then even that, they'll be like, well, we'll follow you to an ATN. There's one right around the corner. Don't worry about it. You can get the money. No, I'm not doing that. Like, so when we were in Europe, so it's a big thing in Europe, right? Like they'll do the same kind of thing. We had a guy come up to one of the tables we were sitting at, because we were sitting out and eating. He's like, I got a bracelet for the lady. And I'm like, bro, we don't have any cash. No, thank you. He's like, it's free. And I'm like, oh, if it's free, then sure. But I'm going to reiterate, we have no cash. Like if you put that on her wrist, we are going to keep it and you will get $0. And he was like, okay, yeah, have a great day. And I'm like, that's what I thought, bro. Like, go. Like, don't say it's free and then expect something in return. There's a lot of monks that walk around New York that'll put like bracelets and stuff. They'll walk up to you, like try to shake your hand and like slide it on you and be like, oh yeah, we made this in our, monastery, blah, blah, blah. It's $40 for a plastic bracelet. Nah, fam, take this back. I don't care about your stones and your wind cut rocks or any, like, bro. No, you bought this from freaking Pinterest for $3. Go away.
From Pinterest.
Yeah, and I'd be more willing to buy if they weren't like rocking Nikes and New Balances. Like if they were rocking like some like authentic like monk sandals, I would maybe be like, sure, like this is a cool bracelet. But bro, you're rocking Nikes and trying to sell me like some like authentic bracelet. Get out of here.
Or if they could do a one-handed handstand for a few minutes, I would totally buy it.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind impressive in of itself. I don't know. I don't think you gotta be a monk to do that. I think that's kind of just like an impressive kind of feat to begin with. So
I think I'm thinking like the Shaolin monks, like the ones that are like pretty much train and meditate all day.
Yeah, I don't think they're making bracelets or selling them in New York City though.
You never know. I mean, it's 2024.
Yeah. So I think this like reiterates that like Times Square is something you have to do. If you come to New York, you need to go to Times Square, and you can do Times Square for free, right? Like the M&M store and a bunch of other things. Like you can walk through. There's not pressure. Like you get pressured by the street vendors, hustlers, more than the actual shops. You can go in the shops and look all day. I guess because there's so many tourists that come and go and never buy anything. So like you can do Times Square for free. So, like, go and do it and see it and experience it, but don't get conned. Like, stand on business.
Yeah, and don't get the hot chocolate from Times Square.
Yeah, that was not good. Even, like, the little Lane was like, oh, this is delicious. I'm like, bro. And he's like, you're right. It's terrible. I regret my decision. I'm like, thank you.
But another cool thing we did outside of the city, though, was, what was it called, where they make the ice cream with the nitrous alchemy, I think is what it was called.
Alchemy out in Huntington.
Yeah, we got some milkshakes from there, and that was really like a cool experience. Plus they were like really good, and they, what are they, $10 each, I think, something like that, which,
expensive for milkshakes, but
it's pretty good. It's more for the experience. You get to see them like set this thing down and like the steam come up and that kind of stuff, so that was cool.
Yeah, even as like an adult, I'm like, when I hadn't seen it, I was like, oh, that's cool. I bet as a kid, that's probably one of the coolest things, like see it and be like, see them pour the milk in the bowl and then come out ice cream, and all you see is the them like hitting it with the gas or whatever it is, and you're like, dang, that's kind of awesome,
Yep.
I wish we could have been there to see like how the kids reacted. They might not have cared at all. They might have been like, just give me my milkshake, fools, but I hope they thought it was cool.
The older ones were just kind of chilling, taking pictures of themselves, like in the corner. But Lane and Arabella, they were kind of like, they were up on the counter watching it, and Bella got like super close, and some of it like burned her hands, so she was so close that she was working. And she's like, and I was like, yes, it's so cold, it's hot, I guess.
Yeah,
but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was cool. And then the pizza, dude, you got to try some like New York pizza. So Steph has talked to me about this, and I drag New York pizza. But she said, Nate, when people are coming to visit, can you please not drag it? Like, allow them to form their own assessment and then tell them what you think. You don't have to lead with what you think. Give them time. Let them make a decision. But I'm like, Steph, what if they're wrong? And she's like,
yeah, what if they're wrong?
She's like, Nate, why are
you
waiting?
So I tried the buffalo chicken one. That was like super good. Like it was loaded down. Like you look at the top of the pizza and there's just chicken. You can't even see the cheese and stuff on it. And that one was really good. Had great flavor. I did try a piece of like just pepperoni, and honestly, that one wasn't really that great. I was like, all right, it's just a slice of pepperoni pizza. It's, like I was like, all right, you can get this pretty much anywhere. But the buffalo chicken one, like that was good. Like,
yeah, and the buffalo chicken is good, and it's a lot of buffalo. Like a lot of places will do like ranch and some chicken, and then like a drizzle of buffalo, or they'll do it reverse: buffalo, a drizzle of ranch. This place doesn't do any ranch; it's all buffalo, and it's literally like every part up to the crust of that pizza is covered in chicken, and it's like little bits of chicken. It's not like they just put a chicken, slide like thing up, and it is really good. I will say though, Joe, do you agree or disagree? You can do either, and it is what it is. New York pizza is essentially reheated pizza.
I would say, like, if you're going with a standard like pepperoni or cheese, then probably yes. Like there was nothing crazy about it, but if all New York pizza, as far as like the meat toppings are like that, like if you get something on it, then I would disagree and be like it's way better than the buffalo pizza that I've had before, because it's just a couple slices of chicken, drizzle, that kind of stuff. This was actually like buffalo pizza, right? So I would just say it depends on which slice you get. If you
Yes.
stick standard, then it's just reheated pizza. But if you go like loaded toppings, then it is really good.
So I think that is the essence. Like, I think that is what New York pizza is, right? Like, if you were getting a specialty slice, the beauty of New York pizza is that you can walk in and get a specialty slice without having to order a whole pie or pizza or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
right? And that is something you can't do everywhere. It is like, I mean, some places you can, but like New York is known for that. Most pizza places in New York, you walk in like, hey, I want this specialty piece. I want, like, they had a Caesar salad freaking pizza. They had like a pasta pizza. They like literally some of the weirdest things that you can think of for pizza, which I don't know how they reheat the Caesar pizza. It feels weird to me. Like, are you like gonna like oven cook my lettuce and Caesar dressing? And I'm like, am I gonna eat a cold pizza? I don't get how it works. I've never ordered it, but nonetheless, like, I don't think that New York pizza is great. I think New York pizza is available, which makes it nice. And I do think it's good here and there, but it is, I mean, it sits in display and then they take a piece and they put it in the oven and reheat it and then you eat it. So it is reheated pizza. But where else can you go and be like, I want this, crazy, weird, different piece, and actually just get one slice and be good with it?
Yeah, and for a pretty good cost too. I think like with 5 kids of me and Nicole, like it only costs like $42, something like that. So, and that's with getting like a 2-liter drink, that kind of thing too. So like it was actually the most affordable place we ate by far, by like 50% less than everywhere else that we ate.
And the slices are not really small. They're not baby pieces. They are large pieces of, like, I eat one and I'm good,
Yeah. It was massive slices of pizza. But so I'll definitely say, like, get the specialty pizza, try those out. I tried the barbecue one too. Really great flavor on that one. Really like that. And it was the same way, just completely loaded down with barbecue chicken, and delicious. So yeah, to stay away from classic, like just pepperoni and or cheese, and try the specialty ones. That's where the New York is going to truly shine.
Yep, I agree with you. Other than that, we played some board games. We played Happy Little Dinos. We played, what else did we play?
I can't remember the name of it, but it was like where you played the random
Dixit.
card and said though it Dixit.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Watch some Hunter x Hunter. Watch some Demon Slayer.
Yeah, dude. So Lane getting hyped about Demon Slayer was a lot of fun. Like just seeing someone else that you can tell just really likes it, enjoys it. Watching him get hyped. That and the Entertainment District is probably my favorite arc so far, and Tengen is my favorite Hashira, the flashy Hashira. So like I was here for it. Like watching him get stoked about it, I was like, Lane, I see you. Let's go.
Yeah, he was super. He was into it too, like shouting at the TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And like you and Nicole playing Summoner's War was cracking me up, because like I'll be like, what about this one? What about this one? Well, how do I do this? And it was fun, like showing y'all how to play the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pierce over here, like, yeah, I'm beating, the Child of Ascension on hard mode, level 100. It's like I'm on like level 2 of normal. But it was super fun. And so I know we're a little bit over time and you guys got to hit the road soon, but I have a question for you. How was it, like, having 5 kids in your house, man? Like,
so I had somebody ask me this the other day, and I'm gonna be honest. When I knew your 5 kids was coming, I like kids. Kids are cool, but kids are a lot. They're draining. They're exhausting. Right. And a lot of times kids can be assholes. They don't listen. They do what they want. I had somebody ask me the other day, like, oh, how was the 5 kids? I have to say, Joe, you have some of the most well-behaved, respectful kids I have ever been around. At no point were they assholes. At no point were they breaking things or disrespectful or any like, yes sir, no sir, wanting to help clean up, trying to be as present as possible. All they wanted the whole time they were here was attention. Like they wanted to be a part of the group, right? Like the little ones. Now the older ones, they just wanted to be left alone so they could scroll Instagram and stuff like that. I get it, it's fine, whatever. But like the little ones weren't crying, they weren't breaking things, they weren't throwing things, they weren't making messes. They like Lane just wanted to watch Hunter x Hunter and talk to me about Pokemon or talk to me about, anime, which I don't like talking about anyways, right? And it was great. And Bella just like attached to Steph and wanted to play board games and wanted to make bracelets and wanted to color and stuff like that. They were amazing. In my mind, I thought 5 kids were going to be a nightmare. Screaming, fighting, don't touch me, oh my God, and the traditional kid things. But since like they were so well behaved, like I would do it again in a heartbeat. If you're like, hey, Nate, we're going to come see you again, like, in a month, I'd be like, okay. I would have no reservations whatsoever other than Joe, like you're going to have to pick dinner every night. But other than that, dude, I would welcome y'all back anytime. Your kids were amazing and they made it all enjoyable. Like even getting around the city, there was only one time where the little kid like ran out and luckily it was just a bike lane, right? I was like, oh my God, I'm losing the kid.
She started running. She's like, let's go. And I was like, no, you're 2. You can't run around the street.
Yeah. Other than that, I could be like, Lane, right here, you walk with me, don't get ahead. And dude, just chill. Or I could be like, hey, Hella or Bella, like, hey, come here. We're going to cross the road. Like, hold my hand and walk with me. And she would. No issues whatsoever. Like, they didn't fight me. They didn't push the boundaries. They didn't, like, openly not listen. Like, if I was like, hey, don't do that. They didn't say, wow. They're just like, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I cannot brag on y'all's kids enough. They are wonderful little human beings.
Well, thank you for being such awesome hosts and like, because I mean you made it easy for them to be good, right? Like you were making eggs and making breakfast with Lane, Steph doing crafts with Bella, like just stuff that they love doing, just being part, like they just want to be part of it, like you said. And like we did a TikTok video with the oldest and Addie, right? So I don't remember, it was like a fit check kind of thing where we like just tugged on her pants and spin around or something like that. Yeah. So like you did a good job of being a host and making everybody feel like involved. And I mean, cooking the ramen, Steph with the carrot cake, that was delicious. I was like this is the life. Like you guys are good hosts. I was like, I don't think I've ever been the host as good as that before to anyone.
Well, I love cooking, and then like little Lane, dude, he like hyped me up about everything except my biscuits. He like actually hurt my feelings about my biscuits, but he's like, this is the best ramen I've ever had. This is the best like bacon I've ever had, And then he ate my biscuits. He's like, it's kind of dry. And I'm like, what? What? How dare you?
It's biscuits. They're like, you got to put something on them, like that. They're dry or it. Yep.
So that got to the heart. But and then like he's like, I want to come back for my birthday. He's like, I can't wait to come hang out with y'all again and stuff like that. So it was good. Like, but the kids made it good. And like I said, Lane hyping me up about everything. I don't think it mattered what I did. He was like, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah.
But it was definitely a fun trip. Lots of cool experiences. Just being able to hang out with you guys as well was awesome. But yeah, so any last minute things you want to share before we kick off and let you guys get on the road?
No, we're going to see the eclipse. So it's gonna be fun, long drive, but that's about it. But I mean, I appreciate you taking the time to come up, bro. The real hero and MVP's got to be you. You drove 4 days, right? Halfway one day, finished up the next, and then repeat going home. Like, kudos to you and the kids for just chilling in the car and stuff like that. That's a long trip to make. So we enjoyed having you. We loved having you, and you're welcome back anytime. And we're about to be moving to Charlotte, so you can come see us in Charlotte too.
Yeah, we're just gonna follow you to wherever we go. We saw you in New Orleans, New York City. Now we'll follow you back to Charlotte for sure. And then the one thing I just remember, like on the way home, like it was like in New Jersey, like this big truck literally ran us into the cones, and like we hit one of the big cones, and then like was able to get back into the road, but then we had to stop and like get the cone from out from under our car because the dude just ran us off the road. It was like one of the merge lanes. He's like, no, you're not coming over. And I tried to speed up, but he would speed up. And then I tried to slow down, but it was a big truck, so it took forever to like for him to get past. And I was like, you people here are such jerks.
Yeah, they don't care either at all. So
no care in the world.
Yep.
But definitely a crazy like 32 plus hours of driving. We did drive through like 13 different states, I think, including Alabama, of course. But it was a fun time.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man. It was great seeing y'all. I enjoyed having you up. And we were going to do this in person, but he wanted to get on the road, which I supported. And I think this ended up being better anyways. Gave you a week to think on it and, compress and kind of look at what you actually enjoyed and stuff like that. So, but you're welcome up anytime, man. But I am going to have to run. We appreciate all y'all hanging out, listening to our stories of New York and things like that. As always, we appreciate you. Hope y'all join in and hang out with us next week as well.
See you.
See y'all.